Hi, it's Sarah here from Crafting and Stamping, and today's quick tip is about how you can use a repeating motif to create a background for your card. Now, I have been using the Crafting with You set, and I chose the little ball of wool, the knitting, for this card that I'm doing. I've stamped it and die cut it out repeated times, and what I've done is, for the moment, I've just stuck my ones in the four corners, and I've tried to keep them around about even from the top and the sides and the bottom and the sides. It might not be exact, but now we're going to pop on the centre ones. And to do that, this grid paper in the background is really handy. So if I get this lined up so that I've got even amounts top and bottom, here is my centre line. I'll just move this over. I know that I'm keeping it around about even, but I'm using this centre line now for the little wool balls in the centre. So we're going to pop these on, and of course you could do this with a variety of the elements in the Crafting with You set. So I'm just trying to keep that around about even and the angle about even with the top and bottom ones. So we've also got the sewing machine, the little cut and emboss machine. There's paint brushes that you could do this with. So this is something that you could do either for a friend that enjoys this craft, or possibly to accompany something that you're gifting. So I'm thinking, if you've knitted somebody a lovely jumper or whatever it might be, then you could do a card with all this knitting wool on the front. So I'm just trying to keep the angles of my needles and the trail of wool about even with the others that I've got. You could pop these up on dimensionals, but I'm not wanting to add too much bulk to this card, so I'm putting these on flat. And you'll see I've actually cut this. Let's just get that even, because now we're getting on to the interesting bit. So I've actually already cut card layers, card base of Pool Party, Lost Lagoon, a layer of Pretty Peacock, and then we've got this one with the Lost Lagoon as well. And I've used Lost Lagoon for the wool. It's just so happens that I have knitted, or I've got some knitting wool in this sort of shade. Now I'm going to work on a silicone sheet for this next bit. What I'm going to do is stick these on either side overhanging, and then we'll trim those away. So if I've got my silicone sheet behind, if I've put too much glue on than is needed, it won't matter. It's not going to stick to my sheet behind. So there, we'll put that on. I perhaps should have left a bigger gap, because that's the gap that we've got there, but I actually like it a little bit closer. If this was a proper repeating pattern, it wouldn't quite work out, but they're really not going to know that. So, and I've already half prepared a sentiment to go onto this, just so that you can see the fully finished card. But like I say, this is something that you can do with any stamps and dies that you might have. You can create, like we can sometimes stamp a background for our image, from our background paper for our card. This is just taking it a step further and not just stamping, but die cutting as well. So to finish this, all I'm going to need to do is just snip away, and I just turn it over and snip from the back using the edge of the card as a guideline. So just follow it along and snip away the excess like that. And that then can be glued on, and as I've got my multi-purpose liquid glue, I'll use this, but of course you can use whichever your preferred adhesive is. So I'm going to pop that on there. And like I say, if this was a proper repeating pattern, and if I was stamping this, just try and straighten that a little bit, then I would have probably just done a little bit sort of top and bottom, but it's not, and we can make it however we want. So I'd recommend not making it too complicated. So there we have our base card, and I'm using my circles, and I've used the circle sayings for sending you a happy birthday, and then I've just die cut out the basket, and I'm just going to adhere that over the top. And there's two different baskets in the set, so there's one that you can stamp, and there's this one that you can die cut. The stamped one also gets die cut out, but this sort of adds that basket weave effect. And then we'll just pop this up on some dimensionals on the card front. So I hope that this is giving you an idea for making your own backgrounds with repeating shapes. And I'm covering one up entirely, which is a bit of a shame. And you could check that before you start so that you're not doing that. But as well, it was just helping me get the placement correct. So let's see. I think I'm going to go, I will go central. It doesn't feel quite right otherwise. There we are. So that is my quick tip for you. Like I say, to use repeating stamp and dies together to create your background. So I hope that that gives you some ideas for other ways to use your matching stamps and dies. Please do subscribe to my channel below to see a quick tip every Friday and a quick card every Monday. And please just give me a thumbs up and like if you enjoy this project. Thanks for stopping by.